They certainly do not crater. In our view, he's got some very strong heir apparents, in particular, Marianne Lake, who heads up the consumer bank. But Tom, you're bringing up a good point, because when he steps down, the stock is not going to react well to that news. The guy is really in a class by his own. He's in the Hall of Fame of bank CEOs, and he's going to be hard to replace. But it doesn't mean JPMorgan crashes down, but it may lose some of its momentum on the day of the announcement. But as they demonstrate under the new leadership with whoever's at the helm, I think you'll see them over time gravitate back to where they were when he was in charge.
Gerard, when President Trump was elected to a second term here, one of the Trump trades, if you will, was to own financials, bank stocks here, in large part due to the expectation, maybe looser regulatory framework. Is that kind of playing out? How does the market discounting that these days?
Actually, Paul, it played out extremely well after he was elected in November, and the bank stocks were clear outperformers in 2024. They were also doing very well through the end of February, outperforming the market. Then, of course, the Trump tariff policies were announced. The stock sold off very hard. But since the first week of April, the bank stocks, not including yesterday's trading action, the bank indices had recovered about 35%, which put them year to date ahead of the S&P 500, again, the bank indices. So I think what you're seeing is that the Trump trade is still working for the banks. And the reason for it, Paul, is that the deregulation outlook for the banks is very positive.
So, Gerard, here, is it by the group here? Is it try to be selective? How are your clients thinking about some of these big banks? Because, boy, the earnings over today and yesterday look pretty solid across the board.
They really do, and it's a good question, and you can certainly buy the group through one of the ETFs that we're all familiar with. But I think if you are in the camp that the Federal Reserve could be lowering short-term interest rates between now and the end of the year, 25 to 50 basis points, maybe a year from now, the short end of the curve is down 75 or even 100 basis points, a positive slope to the curve, assuming the 10-year stays anchored at 4.5%, a 3.5, 3 3/4 Fed funds, 4.5, 10-year is very positive for the banks. In fact, you have to go back 20 years to find that kind of environment where the Fed funds rate was over 3% with a positive slope. So that would suggest regional banks could, which have lagged the money centers, could be the play for the next 6 to 12 months.
Gerard, I need to recover my portfolio. I don't own Bitcoin. I didn't buy JPMorgan. Give me the small bank stock of Gerard Cassidy at Tucker Anthony RL Day this morning.
That's a great name.
It's not so small. The challenge, Tom, is that the small banks are being acquired. But I steer people to Popular in Puerto Rico, and though it's not a community bank anymore, Puerto Rico has fully recovered, obviously, from the terrible years they had 5 years ago. And this is the leading bank on the island, and they're doing a great job. Brilliant. And they have a ton of excess capital, and the buyback should be very supportive.